Lonnie the theatre lady, back on Burgh Vivant.
I just saw Of Mice and Men at the Rep in Oakland, and it was a totally compelling and riveting show from start to finish.
Well, that's good news. I think that's what they aim for,
I think
presenting
so.
a drama on stage. Now, this we've all read in grade school, at least I think I did, the John Steinbeck novel. This, I suppose, is a play adaptation of that. Had you ever read the book?
Actually, no.
Really?
I'm embarrassed to say I hadn't read the book. I hadn't seen the movie. This was totally fresh
It might not have been
me.
out yet when you were in grade school.
Well, actually...
John Steinbeck was just a little tyke.
Did you know he was a migrant worker himself?
I did not know that.
Yes, when he was in high school, he did migrant farm work.
So that could be where a lot of the...
I think some of the ideas for this show came. It was one of the most powerful performances that I've seen in a long time. I forgot to breathe sometimes. I was so...
Well, not completely, obviously. And
No,
we're glad
I
about
made
that.
it.
Yes,
but
very good.
I was so completely engrossed in what was happening on that stage, and the acting was absolutely magnificent. The character of Lenny, who is the big kind of galoot.
Yeah, these are classic characters. We see them
Right.
parodied all the time. George and Lenny, the kind of like smaller wise talker, and the big, brute that's, maybe not, playing with a full deck up here.
No, he was very...
The muscle and the brains,
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was very childlike. I don't know what word we would use, maybe mentally challenged, but yet still able to function. And that was played by Leandro Cano, and it would have been so easy, I think, to play this character as just a big balloon, 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 but he got into the complexities of this character and made him so multi-layered and so sympathetic that you just, as an audience member, you just had to love him and you just wanted to hug him. And the way Leandro Cano kept his features kind of slack, it made the character of Lenny even more believable and real. Just even
So
the
certainly
facial
not
expression.
overdone, an honest performance,
No,
I think.
very
you can say.
honest performance. And then George was a perfect foil. He was played by Jared DiGiorgi, and as big and slow as Lenny was, George was cagey and quick and agile and sharp and always thinking and always on his feet, and their friendship that they had was the most beautiful and believable part of this show. It started out where I wasn't quite sure what their friendship was, because George seemed a little irritated with Lenny, but as the show developed and their friendship blossomed, even though this was a very tragic story, it was so beautiful. It was a beautiful story. And one of the other characters, Curly, was played by Luke Halfordy, and he is only a senior at Point Park.
Oh,
he was the only and he did a great job. He played Curly.
And Curly, if I remember correctly, is like their boss, right? He's the
boss's son.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that gives him...
Which is even worse.
Yes. Gives him this sense of arrogance
Yeah.
and power that he totally abuses. He has a wife who's not even named. It's Curly's wife. That's the name of the character. And she was the only female on the whole cast. And she was supposed to have been a tart.
Oh.
That's how they described her. However, the theme of loneliness ran through this whole play, and she was just really lonely.
No.
It was Erin Lindsay Crome, and she was also a sympathetic and very likable character. There was a dog in the show.
Oh, that's hard to pull off, because it's tough to appear on stage with kids and animals.
And it was a bloodhound named Copper.
Wow.
And
how was Copper's performance?
Actually, I was thinking about it, and I thought, I have to mention what a good actor he was. And it's like, no, he was a dog. He was just very well behaved, very laid back. And a bloodhound has such a sad face, which perfectly fit in with the role. He wasn't acting, that was his face. But really.
Very good reputation he has. He works like a dog.
Yes, indeed he does. And he was the dog that belonged to Candy.
I wonder if he got equity minimum for this. Good for him.
Candy was played by John McManus. And he too was a very sympathetic character who was hoping for a better future, as were most of the characters in the play. That's, I think, even though it was very heavy, very serious drama, the hope that most of them had for something better ahead is what kept them going. And the other actor I'd like to mention is David Whalen. He played Slim, and you know what a great actor he is. He always is. And he was the character that was just about the only one that had it all together, kind of. And everybody looked up to him and took his advice and followed what he said. And he was so real in that part, which kind of surprised me because I've seen him do so many roles, and this was kind of a really rough guy with soft edges, and he performed that very well too.
Great.
And I would highly recommend this show, not just for the brilliant writing and the directing, by the way. Did I tell you who directed this?
Tell me.
Robert A. Miller. He's a very, very prolific director, producer in Hollywood. He's also a playwright, and he directed another show here in 2008 at the Rep, which just happened to be Death of a Salesman, that was written by his father. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yes, he is the son of Arthur
Miller.
Great.
But this is a show that I think stays with you because I've been thinking about it since I've seen it, and it addresses the human condition with such eloquence and tenderness that I can't imagine anybody could see it without being totally moved and perhaps even changed.
Who are the mice? Who are the men? Which are you? What is your spirit animal?
The dolphin.
A dolphin? Why? Do you have an interest in seeing this new Ninja Turtles movie?
No, not.
There's a new play about how they do these lab tests on mice to make them geniuses. It's called Of Mice and Mensa.
That was really bad. But I like it.
That's right. You can't get it up.
Did you just make that up on the spot?
I did just make that up. That's why it's
That's
so
very good.
terrible.